Jakob Ingebrigtsen of Norway. He's our reigning champion from the Diamond League final last year. He is the reigning Olympic champion if you follow the Olympics. He was reasonably good in Tokyo a few years ago. First appearance was at Pre 7 years ago, which is hard to believe, but he's been a stable presence here over the years, and we've always appreciated him on the track. He is joined by the reigning world champion, the bronze medalist from Tokyo, Josh Kerr of Great Britain, fresh off setting a world indoor record at the 2 mile and a fabulous run in Glasgow at the World Indoor Championships as well. And rounding out our trio, Yared Nuguse of the United States, the American record holder, and was that silver medalist in that race in Glasgow over the winter. Welcome, gentlemen. Do you guys know each other? You guys met? Shook hands? Everybody good? All right.
Vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Vaguely familiar. All right. Jakob, we'll start with you. Season opener. Obviously been a while since we've seen you on a track. Would sense that you wouldn't be here given the field that has been assembled if you didn't feel like you were ready to run, but it is a season opener. So describe for us maybe the road to get here and how you're feeling going into the race tomorrow.
I think it's definitely good to be back. It's last time I raced was here, so that's a little bit cool. But first of all, I think it's just good to be back in the circus and glad to be back racing hopefully tomorrow. Winter's not been perfect, which is why I've not been raced for in cross country and indoor. But I'm definitely going to show up and try to do my best. I think that's a big part of the sport is to not be only showing up when you are 100% or whatever. I think a big part of the sport is to do what we all love, which is to run, compete against each other, and I think we all just glad to be here and hopefully get a race.
And you were, I think a year ago when we were chatting, you were very nice enough to offer yourself as a pace setter for Yared to run the American record. I believe he said if you just stayed behind you, he would get that record. You planning to be a pace setter again?
I think it was, I was not offering myself, I was just being realistic. So the approach was, I'm gonna run fast, and so the job for the rest is relatively easy, okay. Which it's not easy to run fast, but it's definitely easier than doing a lot of the work by yourself. So the opportunity is there. So I was just waving the opportunity, which at the end of the day you have to grab yourself as an athlete, which is not always easy. So I think that's pretty cool when you first get the chance, but you also commit and you succeed.
Mm-hmm. Josh, last race between the two of you, you were the pace setter. You got across the line as a world champion, and now you come in here with a plan to maybe rise to the top of a podium again at another major global championship. You talked a lot of that last year about having really sort of a plan, and you really planned out the season. Is the same approach happening this year, and are you on plan?
Yeah, I think for me, year-on-year races kind of come and go, and we all get experience of how our bodies work and how the best structure is for the year. So for me, I have never ran the Pre-Classic or anything, so I wanted to add that to kind of the list of races that I want to go after and I want to win, and it fit in the schedule really well this year, and I'm just excited to open up kind of my 1500 mile debut in the 2024 season.
Yeah, you got a little taste of Hayward coming in and you're opening around that 800 at the Oregon Relays, just in terms of the venue and just kind of what you hope to have, and I mean, you probably watched plenty of Prefontaine Classics over the years. Putting yourself in that moment, what are you hoping to get out of it?
Yeah, it was about a month ago. It was pretty much like a high school meet, but it was still a wonderful, setup, and the track's fast. It was a bit chilly, but it was very fun to get out there and do a bit of a dry run of what this is going to look like this weekend. And obviously, I'm aiming towards 1500, and so I've been dancing around with 3Ks and 2 miles and 800s and stuff just to kind of get ready for running fast miles, really.
Yared, you represent a very strong group of American runners in this field, but certainly as the American record holder and kind of the face to the franchise, you come in with high expectations. I'm sure the preparation for you, perhaps more of the looming reality of having to just make the U.S. team come 4 weeks from now. So how is your preparation, and how does this event fit into your preparation for the trials?
Yeah, I feel like this race is really important because it kind of like puts me in a place where I feel like I have a lot of my world's best competitors I'm going to be facing. And I feel like, once you face a field like that, facing like the US field, which is still going to be very, very difficult, it makes it feel a little more manageable, I think. So I think being able to just come out and race against these guys is going to give me a lot of confidence going into the trials in a few weeks.
Second here at the Diamond League final, second at World Indoors to these two gentlemen over there. What do they provide you in terms of that confidence gain and feeling like you're getting ever closer to them, and then maybe you wanting to be their pace setter sometime soon?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just being surrounded by such amazing athletes really pushes me to like kind of want to rise up to that occasion a little bit. I feel like I've done that a lot last year, but as my pro career kind of continues, I still want to just keep getting better and still keep climbing as high as I can. And I think it's amazing to have like great athletes ahead of you for that, just so you can really be, always pushing yourself to be more. Because I think once you get to the top, it kind of feels like you could stagnate a little bit. So I think a lot of it is just like really keeping it up and, reaching the next big goal.
All of us, whether we're commentators or members of the press or just fans of the sport, I mean, we are all ultimately looking for great moments to look forward to and be around the water cooler, maybe talk to someone who's not an everyday track and field fan. It's like, you've got to tune in to watch this weekend because of a race that you're happening. So the fact that you are three representing, again, a field that could be worthy of an Olympic final, just talk about the importance of you all showing up and facing each other. I mean, this is not the Olympic final, but we need these types of meetings to get people to care, and maybe somebody will watch Saturday that will now suddenly want to follow you guys on this road to the Olympics. We'll start with you, Jakob.
I think it's very important. Obviously, we all feed off the engagement and enthusiasm, especially from the crowd and the media and everything. And if we're only saving that for one race or two races of the season, I think the whole point vanishes a little bit. It's a big sport, going throughout the whole year, more or less. And there's a lot of championships, there's a lot of races, and for all of us, all different races are very important. And I think it's important to show up and to make it exciting. But first of all, you need to be there. You need to be in shape, and you need to be fit, and you want to perform the best you can, which I'm hoping we're going to do in every race.
And Josh, same for you in that, in that decision to compete at the World Indoor Championships. You gave, the locals a moment that they wanted to have, and you, sort of understood the opportunity and what it meant to the sport. Do you subscribe to that? You guys need to be present and racing together as much as you can?
Yeah, I think to be known in this sport and to be dominant in what we try and do, you've got to race, and you've got to race the highest standard of racing as much as possible. World Indoors, I think, was as much of a treat for me as it was for my home fans. But to have mid-season races like this, where you have, like you said, an Olympic final stacked race, a world final stacked race, is that's a testimony to the time of year and the place, and also just the athletes knowing that to go up against fields like this is not going to come around too often, and you got to find as much experience with that as possible. And I think you got to give up to Pre-Classic for being able to pull this stuff together. But yeah, I think that's what I'm excited about. It gets me out the door, it gets me working, and puts me in positions to hopefully show my best at these big meets, which I've done in the past.
And Yared, you have the world lead in the mile at a pedestrian 3:51. Bold prediction: will it take something faster to win tomorrow?
Yeah, I will. I sincerely hope so. Anyway, I would be very, very surprised if that's what it took. And I feel like races play out in a lot of ways, but I don't think I'd like this specific race to play out that way. So no, it's going to be a really good race tomorrow. I'm certain of it, and I'm just really excited to go out there and see what we can all do right now. So.
And what's the latest in Taylor Swift world for you?
It's been the torture post department, obviously. Not really like the best mood pre-race, so probably won't be listening to a lot of that beforehand, but I've been thoroughly enjoying it.
What's your favorite era, by the way?
Reputation, as always.
I doubt anyone in this room has questions, but I will venture a guess to open up the floor. Jeff, you are there, and Larry, I'll get out of the way.
This is for all three of you. Yesterday I put up that this is the mile of the century, so you guys have got a lot to live up to tomorrow. But Noah Lyles put out that he was going to be watching the race, but he didn't care what the time was. He wanted to see the competition. Can you guys comment on that?
I think that makes sense. It's not always about running fast, but sometimes we all try to do the things that we believe is needed for us to have the best chance to win. And sometimes that's to run fast, sometimes that's to do something different. But the overall excitement, which I just mentioned, that's supposed to go throughout the whole season, can't always happen or handle about fast times. So I think that's the hype that we are currently in. It's a pretty good field, but at the same time, I think we should expect this field or something similar to be happening every race. So I don't think we should put this race up on a pedestal and say that this is only this once. I'm hoping that we can do this in every race, because we all need to show up and we all need to try to do our best in every race, because that's what people want, and that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, I just say the competition is honestly the best part of every race for me. I feel like I run a lot of fast times and those mean a lot to me, but not that much to me, if that makes sense. At the end of the day, if you ask me what a certain PR is in a race I haven't done recently, I'm kind of just I actually have to pause and think about it for a minute, because in the moment it's cool and in the moment it's cool and that's great, but I think what we remember most is just the fun moments, racing each other and really competing in a really good field like this one. So that's what I remember most about Oslo, not necessarily how fast it was, just how much everyone was there and how chaotic that race was. So yeah, I think I'm definitely hoping for that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think between all of us and the media, we've created some awesome storylines throughout the last 6 months or so, and I think that's what creates hype. And I know that Noah's evidently doing that with the 100-meter sprinters as well, and they have their Netflix stuff coming out, so that's what he's about in the sport, and I think we're creating that in another kind of premier distance. So that's a pretty understandable comment.
Jonathan here, or
Questions for Jakob. So a lot of changes for you since you last ran here. You get married and you're going to be a father next month. Does that give you a little bit of extra motivation, having a new member in your cheering squad?
Sure, 100%. I think I'm not a father yet, so obviously I don't know what to expect. But I think definitely it changes some perspectives in life. And growing up in a big family, I think I've been dreaming of the moment where I start my own family. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully I can share some of my great experiences for the beautiful daughter.
Hey, question is for Josh and for Jakob. I'm wondering, how would you describe your relationship with each other right now, and how has it changed since Budapest?
I wouldn't say this is a counseling session, so I don't know if I can explain a relationship, but we're fierce competitors that both want to be the best in the world, and that's not going to change, regardless of comments or how the media spins things or how things are taken out of context, and it's going to create some fantastic races.
Yes. I think if we take a step back and look at it as a total or in the bigger picture, I definitely think we're all, the sport is, you can say it's good for the sport and blah, 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 and whatever. And I think all of these different things that cause people to, create hype or just engagement or causing attention, that's definitely positive for all of us and for the sport and all involved. But it's definitely a balance.
Denise Span, I'm here with Magic Boost. My question is for Josh. Just piggybacking off of that, do you feel like this race will settle any tension that is between you and Jakob, if at all?
I'm not here to settle tension. I'm here to run a fantastic mile that hopefully will go down in centuries. So look, you know, I'm here trying to be the best in the world. I showed I could do that last year, and I want to continue that pursuit. And you know, if that annoys people or you know that ruffles up competitors, I'm sure it will, because the whole world's trying to do what I'm doing. So yeah, I don't really care how this race affects anyone else. It's going to affect my season and my career, and that's the selfish way that I look at my racing, because it's an individual sport.
Any other questions for these three gents?
Hey, Olu Olamigo here with the Magic Boost, and this question is for Yared. So we've made a lot of talk about the three of you guys being the headliners for the Bowerman Mile. But my question for you, Yared, is, you know, each of you guys bring your own strengths. So of the three of you, considering you are an avid Pokemon fan, which one do you use Charmander, which one is Bulbasaur, which one is Squirtle?
Ooh, a great question. I think I kind of pinpoint it as Jakob being Charmander. I think he kind of has that fiery vibe to him. I think I'd give Josh Squirtle. I think, like, I don't know. Squirtle just kind of feels right, because I feel like Bulbasaur kind of encapsulates me a little bit. So yeah, good question.
Not sure how many follows that question. Larry, do you want to shout out one more question?
Sure. To all three of you, obviously you guys are focused on your race tomorrow. Do each one of you have an event tomorrow that, besides the mile, that you are looking forward to seeing the results of, or watching the race later on YouTube?
I'm looking forward to the women's 800 because my teammate Sage is in it, and also I think just the women's 800 is just really deep right now, so that's gonna be really fun for me to watch.
Yeah, I also have a teammate in the women's 800, so you know that's it's just me and her right now from the Brooks Beast, and so that's what I'm excited to watch her go out and smash an 800.
I'm probably gonna watch through the whole meet, but I'm hoping we can have some good duels throughout the whole meeting. But first and foremost, focused on my own race.
All right, I think we have one more in the front. Sorry, didn't see you there. You want to go ahead?
Yeah, question is for Josh. This is Karen from Cities Mag, and wondering what your thoughts are on having rabbits in the race tomorrow.
That's just kind of been part of the Diamond League setup for a long time. I think, especially in a race that's got this many people in it, I think it will help stretch out the field. So yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
All right, and we hope to bring these folks back for the breakout session. We'll come up after the conclusion of our next and final